Imagine this. You're a successful professional poker player, living the high life and enjoying the thrill of winning high-stakes poker tournaments and large stacks of money. But then suddenly, your world takes a dark turn. You find yourself held at gunpoint outside a casino, forced into an underworld of a $2 million extortion scheme, and held captive in a basement for 35 days. Is it a gripping tale of a poker pro caught in an extortion nightmare, or is there more to the story? Stick around as we dissect the evidence and explore whether George Janssen is a victim or the mastermind behind an elaborate scam. But first, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated on the latest development. Our story begins 2 years ago in the small town of Bad Axe, Michigan. Family man George Janssen is a successful 41-year-old seasoned poker pro. Among his poker accomplishments are 4 coveted World Series of Poker Circuit rings and a MSPT title, where he recorded his largest cash ever for $82,000. As of the release of this video, Janssen has so far amassed an impressive $440,000 in poker tournament earnings. Janssen started gaining notoriety for his success at the poker tables, but at the same time, he also attracted the attention of some shady characters. On the night in question, Janssen stated that he had been playing in a high-stakes poker tournament at a casino in the heart of Detroit, but soon found himself thrust into a nightmarish scenario that would haunt him for the next 2 years. According to Janssen, he left the busy casino, the name of which he does not remember, and got into his car that was parked in a dimly lit parking garage. As he sat in the driver's seat, a person with a mask and a gun jumped into his car. This unknown person pointed a gun at Janssen's head and demanded $2 million from him. The witness report says Janssen told the attacker that he didn't have that much money. The armed person then instructed him to drive to a different parking lot nearby. There, he met several other individuals who gave him a cell phone along with specific instructions. Over the next 2 years, they ordered Janssen to make money drops of large amounts of cash at different locations. The suspects would contact him on the cell phone they provided. Sometimes, there would be another cell phone or a handwritten note in the drop box, guiding George to the next location. The suspects even threatened to hurt Janssen's family and sent photographs of his children. A family member shared that Janssen would go to many different meeting spots to drop off money. Janssen explained that during these drops, he would put the money in a small box left at those locations. If there was a cell phone in the box, he had to exchange it with his own and continue communication. In September of 2023, Janssen managed to secure the 2 largest cashes of his career and won a combined total of $161,000 in a span of just 2 days. When the suspects became aware of these winnings, they demanded more money. However, he informed them that he was out of money and drowning in debt. In response, they insisted he make one last drop, this time for $25,000. It is not known whether Janssen made this last drop or not. 2 months later, on November 13th, Janssen is reported missing by friends and family. On this day, Janssen spoke to a family member and said he was going to the city of Novi to speak to someone about money. The family member recalled that Janssen sounded broken as he revealed a tale of extortion, money drops, and threats against his family. This led to a family member contacting law enforcement. They told the police that Janssen was in trouble in Monroe County, south of Dundee. On the same day, a friend found Janssen's empty Chevrolet with a few $50 bills scattered inside, adding a strange twist to the story. The mystery surrounding Janssen's disappearance leaves us with many questions and a sense of worry, but the story takes an even stranger turn. 1 month later, on December 15th, a family member got in touch with the police, sharing they had received a handwritten letter from Janssen, who was still missing. Family members noticed something strange in the letter. The names Kirby, Iggy, Daisy, Noah, and Parker were mentioned. They were not familiar with any of these people, but they noticed that if you took the first letter of each name, it spells out the word kidnap. The letter wasn't the only thing talked about in interviews. Throughout the investigation, Janssen's poker earnings became a focal point. As you may know, a player's poker earnings are public knowledge and posted online. This opens the possibility that the perpetrators looked up Janssen's poker earnings online, saw that he had winnings totaling over $500,000, and decided to make him a target. In the poker community, this is more common than you may think. Over the years, there have been many stories about robberies that were committed against poker players, some of which ended in tragedy. One of the misconceptions about poker players is that they frequently carry large amounts of cash. Another misconception is that a player's total poker earnings accurately represents their overall financial situation. You will see players with hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in poker earnings. However, many of them may be facing financial challenges beneath the surface. In Janssen's case, detectives found that he once owned a used car dealership that closed in 2023 and was drowning in debt. They also later confirmed with the bank that Janssen owed them roughly $2 million. A close friend of Janssen's mentioned that he was taking out loans and buying cars he couldn't afford, which added to his financial problems. On December 18th, 35 days after he claims he was kidnapped, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office stopped looking for Janssen when he was spotted by drivers alongside a road in Bad Axe, Michigan around 12:30 a.m. When discovered, Janssen had a bloody face and his hands zip-tied behind his back. He told witnesses that he had recently managed to escape from the basement of his abductors after being held captive for 35 days. However, he did not provide any further details on how. Moments later, several police officers arrived at the location and obtained additional details from Janssen while he was treated for minor injuries. Soon after, he was taken to a nearby medical center for further evaluation. Days later, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office handed over the case to the FBI, which makes us all left wondering, what is the FBI's take on this mysterious story? And do they have any additional details about the case that were not shared with the public? The only information the FBI provided was that Janssen was found in Bad Axe, Michigan, and had checked into a local hospital. They wouldn't comment on any other parts of the investigation, which adds even more uncertainty to this wild story. The mystery around Janssen's disappearance deepens as different pieces of the puzzle come to light. Here's a recap summary of what we know about Janssen's claims. In 2021, he was held at gunpoint inside his car in the parking garage of a Detroit casino, which he does not remember the name of. Unknown gunman demands $2 million and forces him to drive to a different parking lot, where he is met by several other individuals. He is threatened and handed a cell phone with instructions to answer whenever they call. Suspects send him photographs of his children and continue to threaten him and his family. Over the next 2 years, he is forced into an extortion scheme where he is ordered to make money drops at various locations. He is ordered to stay in constant communication with the suspects, using the provided cell phone and handwritten notes located inside the drop boxes. In the fall of 2023, he manages to secure the 2 largest cashes of his career and wins a combined total of $161,000 in a span of 2 days. Shortly after, the suspects demand more money from him, but he informs them that he is out of money and drowning heavily in debt. In response, the suspects instruct him to make one last money drop in the amount of $25,000. Fast forward 2 months later, he is reported missing by friends and family on November 13th, last seen in Monroe County, south of Dundee. On the same day, a friend finds his empty Chevrolet with scattered $50 bills. On December 15th, a family member received a letter from Janssen with unfamiliar names that spelled out the word kidnap. 3 days later, Janssen reappears with a bloody face, hands zip-tied behind his back, claiming to have escaped captors after 35 days. As the investigation continues, we're left with more questions than answers. What are your thoughts on this story? Is he the puppet in this elaborate extortion scheme, or the puppet master? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.